And already underway in solidarity with the people of Palestine. In Johannesburg, protesters are gathering outside the US Consulate in Sandton. And let's cross now live to join our reporter Nthakaona Ngatane, who's in Sandton. Thanks very much for joining us for this crossing. Nthakaona, is the march underway? What's the situation?
Well, yes, Peter, the march is already underway and we expect it to go on up to about 5 p.m. this afternoon. But the organizers of the march, the Palestine Solidarity Alliance and the Palestine Solidarity Campaign have now about to go into the US Consulate here, accompanied by the South African police, to deliver a memorandum in which, among others, they say that the US must reverse its decision to move the US embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, but also to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, because this is one of the contentious points in the whole conflict in Jerusalem and Palestine, because both sides claim Jerusalem, or parts of it at least, according to their religions. But here also to talk to me, Peter, is a spokesperson of the National Metal Workers of South Africa, and that is Numsa. They are part of the organizers of this march and those supporting it. Hlubi Majola, why are you as Numsa supporting this cause?
Indeed, Numsa has always stood in support and in solidarity of Palestine and Palestinian people. We believe very strongly that apartheid Israel must be condemned for its mass murder of peaceful demonstrators yesterday. What happened yesterday was completely unprovoked. These people were armed only with stones and they had every right to demonstrate. The United States had decided to move its embassy to Jerusalem, which in itself is an act of extreme provocation. So as Numsa, we felt it was important for us to come here and demonstrate and show solidarity with our comrades, with the working class in Palestine, to show them that in South Africa we understand their suffering, we stand with them, and we will do everything in our power to pressurize our government to sanction apartheid Israel for its atrocities.
Now, one of the messages that we've seen here is that much famous statement that was made by Tata Mandela that says our freedom is not complete until Palestinians are free. But now, in terms of the demands that are being made here today, which ones resonate most with Numsa?
Well, certainly the demand for Palestinians to be free is one that resonates very strongly with Numsa. You'll remember that Numsa was intimately involved in the liberation movement. We were part of COSATU, we were part of the movement back in the dark days of apartheid to overthrow the oppressive regime. The suffering of Palestinian people we can entirely relate to. They are being tortured, they are being jailed, they are being arrested, they are being murdered. And there is a systematic racist system that has been put in place to ensure their subjugation and their oppression, just like it was under apartheid. And we feel very strongly that there can be no freedom until Palestine is free. That was a rallying cry internationally when the call for sanctions was made against the brutal apartheid government. This is the call that we are making as Numsa. It is not enough that we must remove our ambassador from Israel. We need to cut ties completely with apartheid Israel. We need to set that tone as the South African government so that other countries can follow suit. We must do everything we can to reject apartheid Israel for its brutality and its atrocities.
And Peter, that is Hlubi Majola. She is a spokesperson of Numsa. They are one of the organizations that are supporting this march. And one of the calls being made by some of these organizations is that countries that are supplying Israel with arms must stop, including the United States. That seems to be an ally of Israel at the moment. But as you can see, these protesters are here for the rest of this afternoon. Some of the messages saying Jerusalem is the capital of Palestine and Jerusalem belongs to all who live in it. These are just some of the messages that we're seeing here, and some of them saying, may the people of Palestine rise against the genocide and be free. And the other thing that we can mention is that today, on the 14th, on the 15th of May 1948, after Israel got independence, was another event that is marked in Palestine and that Palestine refers to as a genocide. This was in response to the declaration for independence of Israel. So we are here for the rest of the afternoon in front of the US Consulate in Sandton, Peter. Back to you in studio.
And Nthakaona, just before you go, a quick question for you. Is there any indication that the American embassy is going to receive any of the people leading this march?
Well, at this point in time, Peter, they have just walked into the consulate here. The U.S. Embassy or officials of the U.S. Embassy were not coming out saying that they fear for their security, but the organizers of the march have walked into the consulate, accompanied by the South African police to deliver that memorandum, and we expect them to come out and tell the protesters here what response they got inside of the U.S. consulate. Peter?
All right, Nthakaona, we'll check with you again a little bit later on, and perhaps we might get word of how that meeting happened with the American officials. But thanks very much indeed for your update at this time.